Welcome to another exciting episode of Haunt Talk. Today we will be talking about Valley of Terror. Normally this is a hayride and a haunted house, but because of the whole cooties thing going on, they made it a drive-through. So we got to drive through a haunted house.
Well, haunted hayride. We didn't drive through the house.
Yeah, we didn't drive through the house.
We saw the outside of the house.
Yeah, we just yeeted it to the house, you know, whatever. So before we get started, make sure you go like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell us what you think, tell us about haunt you want us to check out. We also have a movie that is on Amazon Prime. If you have that, go check it out. It is Samsara. It is a horror movie.
Yep, and it's free for Prime members, 99 cents to rent if you're not a Prime member. So it's still really cheap. It's 30 minutes long, so it's a short movie, but it's a little bit longer than most short films. But.
Yeah, check it out. It's very awesome. We also do have a series on our YouTube channel called Haunted Adventures. We have like 4 videos out right now. We will have some more during this season, so stay tuned for those. Make sure you hit the little bell so you know when the next video is up. And I think that's it. Let's get into it. So, Valley of Terror drive-through. We're going to start off with sets and props, of course. And, yeah.
So, I mean, we've never been to it when it's been the haunted hayride. We planned on going this year to that, but we still did, but they just, don't have that. And I will start off, I guess, a little bit before we set some props, kind of like how it works, because this is kind of a different thing. There was a drive-thru when I was a kid at a place called Yellow Duck Park. If anyone ever went there years ago, let me know. I'm not the only one. I really missed that place. It was cool. But there hasn't been any in our area, really at all, of note since then. So this was kind of cool. It was kind of interesting. So I believe you're just driving on what is probably the hayride trail. Again, we haven't been there before. And I am curious, anyone that's been there, please in the comments let me know, like, if the hayride goes anywhere else besides where the car trail goes, which is just a gravel road, if you haven't been there yet, which is just basically a gravel, like, pathway/road that goes down around the field and then goes right back up to, like, where you enter the place. I don't know if the hayride has, like, a path that maybe goes in the woods as well, or if this is just what the hayride does. I'm not really sure. It is cool. They have a radio station, which... referred to as, what was it? WGSP, Gasp Radio. Yeah. It's literally like, you can put it on, but I'd recommend like finding a playlist of your own Halloween music if you want to set the tune, because it's literally just people going, like, that's it. That's all it
gasping.
Is. Yeah, there's not like really music. It's just people gasping. I'm like, what?
Like
so
occasionally you hear somebody whisper or something.
Yeah.
But it was mostly just
gasps.
People just going...
Right, it's really strange.
It's just like, okay, this is awkward.
They seem to really, this was, I believe, their opening weekend. I think they opened up the weekend previous. But either way, they really seem to have everything together. Everything seemed smoothly. They had it like in 3 different things, and they would let one section in at a time, and they had a whole bunch of signage. It really seemed, going there, like it's something they've been doing for some time.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't feel like something they just kind of decided last minute to do. Yeah. So I really think some planning and, like, consideration went into doing that this year. They also had a person that would come around with a wagon that had, like, snacks and drinks in it. And you could purchase them, and they just give it to you right in your car. It was kind of nice. It almost kind of made you feel like first class type of, like, stuff, because people were just bringing stuff to you, and you're just sitting in your car.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. You don't have to get out or do anything.
Like an old school drive-through.
Right.
Or drive-in or something. Yeah.
And I understand it's being done because of the circumstances, and that's why they're doing it. But still... I thought it was just kind of neat.
Yeah, and it was very well organized. Like, I almost think they did like a dress rehearsal or something, and like to make sure that they had the cars going at the
Mhm.
right time. They had them spaced out and stuff. They had people
sure,
with
yeah.
signs that said stop and go, things like that.
Yeah.
And the pathway was like really well maintained. It wasn't like there wasn't
Yes.
any ruts or anything, because that's always my biggest concern, especially with
Mhm.
hay wagons. You know, those hay wagons are being pulled by big tractors that are used to driving through mud and things like that. I drive a Kia Soul. I can't drive through the mud like a tractor.
Right.
So I was like, is this pathway going to be like good for cars? And it was. It was a nice flat gravel road. It was it was flat. It was level. I wasn't scared
Yeah.
at all.
So don't worry about getting stuck if you go
Yeah.
there. So we were kind of worried, like, oh, what if like it's kind
Yeah.
of muddy? But it was also dry the night we went. But
Yeah.
it was something we wanted to see and make sure we pointed out if it was or wasn't. But it isn't. So don't fret.
Don't fret.
If you don't have a 4-wheel drive Yeehaw truck, you'll be fine. Either way. But that's something also that did carry over in sets of props. Everything seemed very like pristine looking. Everything seemed very like well taken care of, and like
Yes.
everything looked very I guess professionally made, which was nice.
Yeah, like it wasn't all like kind of like animatronics and stuff. There was some stuff that it looked like they made themselves.
Yeah, a lot of it did. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
And-
some of it wasn't, but a lot of it looked.
Yeah,
they made.
and it just looked really well maintained.
Mhm.
There were a couple really cool scenes that we really liked. There was like a carnival scene that had just like
And that was cool.
a buttload of clowns.
And there's really cool props. They had like a little Ferris wheel and some like
yeah,
like
and
a
there was
fun
a
little
Jack in the
area.
Box, and
Mhm.
Twisty the Clown was there.
And there was like a little tunnel you drove through, and at the edge was creepy. There was a Pennywise guy. It was just a Pennywise mask, but he just kind of slowly. It's funny. Kim never even saw him
I
when she was
never
driving,
saw
but he was
him.
just slowly stalking the car and just looking at me. That was cool.
I think they tried to like not scare the driver because you
Right. Yeah.
Want me
Which
to-
is kind of.
go into a cornfield
Yeah.
or anything like that because I freak out. But
And then there was I really liked the scene that actually followed that. It was like a mine scene. There was like a mine cart they push at you that like spews flames up and stuff. That was cool.
That was really neat.
There's a few spots of pyrotechnics on the drive.
There was a Freddy Krueger. It was like classic
Oh, yeah.
horror movie characters. So there was like Michael and Jason and Freddy and all them. And Freddy was actually up on top of something, and he had like a barrel or something that puffed up smoke, so
Yeah, that
it
was
looked
cool.
like he was in like the incinerator and stuff. It was really cool, and he was doing the hands and everything, which was really neat.
The time where Hearst like drove up beside us and kind of paced us. That
Yeah,
was cool.
yeah, he was like heckling us as we're driving.
That was cool. But yeah, there's quite a few different like cool scenes, and there's a lot of props and stuff like that. So for sets and props, we did give them an 8.5. The only reason that it's not a little bit higher than that, and 8.5 is still really good, it was still really cool, is there was a little bit of dead space here and there, and we'll get more to this in value, but it was short.
Yes.
There wasn't, I felt like I was really wanting there to be a little bit more.
Like we were getting into it, and then all of a sudden it
Yeah.
was like exit, and we're like, oh.
Yeah, which kind of, I'm
Uh-huh.
like, oh man, I really wish maybe if they would have like had a few more scenes in like that dead area, even wouldn't have made the length longer. Because something else we didn't mention, because I've seen some places that are doing this drive-through thing this year, like the one place in Florida, for example, they have like things that like have like a red light, green light to have you stop and go. This place just says do not stop. You go 3 miles per hour the whole time. Don't stop.
Yeah.
Of course, people in front of us stop because people are people, but you're not supposed to stop.
Right.
But yeah.
So yeah, we gave them an 8.5 because of that reason,
Mhm.
but it's okay. Actors, there were quite a few. Every scene had at least a couple. Some of them had a little bit more. They did like come up on us quite a bit. There were queue line actors, even though technically we
Car
were in
queue
a
lines.
car queue line.
Car queue
Yeah,
line.
there was a girl in a clown outfit with a bat, and she actually got me a couple times, just creeping
was
up
cool.
on her and just doing a little laugh and stuff. There was this Minotaur,
Satan Man.
Bull Man,
Satan
Minotaur.
Man,
I
yeah.
don't know, but he was huge, and he came out from behind this thing, and we're just like,
Yeah, he was
oh,
cool.
okay,
He was
wow,
cool.
that's a thing.
They did have a couple people that roamed around. I call him the scary corn guy. 'Cause he was just like, I don't know if he was a scarecrow or what, but he popped out of the corn and just kind of startled me.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of those. No, obviously they couldn't be too aggressive because you're in your car, and they don't like get real close or anything like that, and they don't reach in, anything like that. But they did have a couple spots where the hiding places were good, and they did give me a little startle, though.
Yes.
I will say. But a lot of them did have dialogue, and they would talk to you. Like the Hearst guy talked to us a lot. Like she said, he was heckling us. He talked to us a lot. And a lot of the places were they kind of like pace your car and have like a little scene going on, like between an actor or so, and have like some dialogue and stuff like that. Not all of them talked. Some just creepily stalked you and just stared you down too, though, which was kind of cool.
So for actors, we gave them a 9.
Mm-hmm.
They were pretty good.
Now our next category will be scare factor. Now this is the one we like to always kind of like say with an asterisk, is a low score in scare factor doesn't necessarily mean that something is bad. In this instance, it's a drive-through haunt. If you expect to go to this and be super, super scared, I feel like maybe you should reevaluate your expectations. It's not super scary, but I will say they actually did a better job at having a scare factor than I thought they would. Yeah. I expected it to more of just be kind of like a Christmas light display with Halloween decorations. But they did have some actors, like I said, that would make like loud noises or have good hiding places that would give you a small like, oh, kind of thing. Like nothing like, like none of like big screens or anything like that. But they did get me a couple times as far as jumping. And the queue line did. And there might have been like one or two that kind of gave you like a little like, oh, kind of thing during the ride.
Yeah, they just kind of came up and I didn't expect them because I was trying to like watch. Because like at one point, the one actor, she was doing somersaults on his side. And she disappeared, and I'm like, oh God, is she in front of my car? Because I'm like constantly moving, and I don't want to run over an actor. That would be bad taste.
Put a bummer on the night.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh God, where'd she go? And somebody came up next to me and startled me because I was trying to look for this girl and not hit her. So yeah, they did get us a few times, and they had some good spots, but it's still, don't go there expecting to get like a huge scare.
Right. And I really think that this haunt, because the scare factor is lower and because of what they're doing this year, like if you have someone that's maybe like immune compromised and is kind of scared to like go things, this is definitely going to be like the most safe way if you're scared of getting the cooties at all or anything like that. Mm-hmm. No one got within 6 feet besides the person we had to hand money to. Everyone was, wearing masks, all that kind of stuff. And also the cool thing about this is not even so much that, but like let's say you have someone that just can't really walk, or even if it's just getting on a hayride, these hayrides are usually in farms, and if you have bad knees or if you're older, or, you have any kind of ailment that would make it hard for you to do any movement like that, you don't have to leave your car. Yeah. So if like you have someone that like someone elderly or someone that's just disabled and they like this kind of stuff, this is a great opportunity. I'd recommend going this year because they might not do this next year. They might go back to the hayride because I'm sure that's better for them to do it that way. But I just think that it's kind of, I honestly kind of wish that there were more places that did something like this to kind of fill that niche of like the fun family thing. Yes. Because it's not really scary, but it was still fun. Yeah. But for scare factor, we gave them a 6 because it wasn't very scary, but there still was some jolts there. But definitely a good thing to bring your kids to. Great place if you want like a fun evening with the younger kids and that as well, but still entertaining enough that you don't need kids or anything like that with it.
Yeah. So that brings us up to value. It was $10 per person or $40 for the car for up to 6 people. So if you have like a family of 6, you can cram them all in the car and it's only going to cost you $40. It did only take us about 10 minutes to get through.
Correct.
Going like 4 miles an hour. So it was,
Right. It was definitely on the shorter side.
Yeah, it was. Like we said earlier, we were like really getting into it and then all of a sudden it was done. And we were just like, oh. Yeah,
I really wish there was a little bit more. Yeah. I don't know if there's probably not many more space. They could have expanded it too. But they could have had a few more scenes in that. But still, that's for what I'm sure they were given because, usually this is a combo thing and they have a few different attractions, This was just one piece, and I think that $10 per person is pretty cheap. Yeah. That's not bad. Would we like to see more? Yes, but I also think that the experience of just going there, it's just kind of unique. Like, even waiting in the line was kind of entertaining, though, So that was kind of cool. But for value, we did give them an 8, just mainly because of the fact that it is rather short for that. You know, and if this is something that they do again, which again I don't think it will be, maybe it would be cool to like maybe implement like a little stop go system where you kind of have the people stop here once in a while and have like a little scene play out.
Yeah.
That might be kind of cool.
Let the actors entertain for a few, like even just 30 seconds. That's all you really need. I know there are some haunted houses, like we frequent one, Wells Township, where they make you stay in that room for like 30 to 45 seconds to have the scare, and then you go to the next room. You could do the same thing with this, where, you know, you're there for like 30 to 45 seconds. They have a little scene play out. They get you scared. You can even scare the driver because they could have the person put it in park.
And that would solve that issue too of not being able to scare the driver. The only bad thing is they were surprisingly busy when we went, and it would definitely make the line longer if we were stopping people for a while. I mean, so that there's, you know, there's always give and takes for these kind of things. But again, I don't even know if they'll do this again. But so that brings us to overall. We said that it's good family fun. You know, great again. As I was saying, in the value category, to take people that normally couldn't go to a haunt, and if you want to experience a drive-through haunt, definitely go out there, because you might not get to experience a drive-through haunt again. You know, as long as this, dear God, is gone, or at least somewhat controlled by next October. But we gave them an 8 for overall. But that's going to do it for this review. And if you've been there this year, you know, let us know in the comments. And also, again, as I said earlier, let us know what it's usually like when they do their hayride in a normal, not pandemic operating season.
Right.
But thank you guys very much for watching. And again, all of the things we talked about in the beginning of the video are in links in the description. And we will see you guys in the next video.
Bye.